a female tourist visiting the 38th parallel, accidentally let the wind blow the hat across the other side of the line. She immediately stood dumbfounded. I dare not go to pick it up. At that time, a soldier from the north came to pick up his hat. He wiped the dust off the hat. In the middle of a quiet space, he gave it back. The Australian commander took the hat. The atmosphere doesn't seem to tense right now, as imagined. But when someone else comes rushing in to take a picture, he was immediately stopped by the Southern Guard, and was quickly forcibly removed from the area. No matter what, the security measures here are still very strict. They are people of the same blood. But because of a boundary line, it becomes a face-to-face enemy. In this place, it's not just flies that can get shot, that even the shadow that crosses the line will be warned. The person listening immediately took a step back. Because this is one of the borders, the most stressful thing on the planet. But at noon that day, a guard, South Korea deliberately spit to the Kia side. In the face of this apparent provocation, the North Korean also responded with a similar spit. This area should be very strict, but in the end turned into a war of childish saliva. So much so, that both sides almost couldn't help laughing. The cause of this strange event. It started one night, a few days ago, when Korean soldiers, Lee Soo-hyuk and his teammates go scouting. It's too heavy, and it's too dark. So they accidentally entered North Korean territory. To avoid causing serious disputes, the commander immediately ordered a withdrawal, but withdrew too quickly. They forgot that Lee Soo-hyuk was going to the bathroom nearby. Noticing something unusual, he hurried back. But accidentally, I stepped on a mine right under my feet. You can't remove the mine yourself. The radio couldn't pick up any signals. When Lee Soo-hyuk was desperate, then I heard a strange noise in the distance. He immediately raised his gun ready to defend. Fortunately, it was just a small dog that ran out, but I can't breathe in relief. The dog's bark. That caused North Korean soldiers to arrive. They both touched each other's eyes for a moment, and then immediately, let's pull the gun. Lee Soo-hyuk is faster than a beat. Made the North Korean soldier, just raise your hand in surrender. But I can't relax. He was captured by another soldier from behind. The gun in his hand was also stolen in the blink of an eye. Afraid the enemy will shoot, Lee Soo-hyuk hurriedly talked about the landmine under his feet. The North did not dare to act recklessly. Turns out the two of them were just looking for the lost dog. So, they didn't mean to make it difficult for the enemy soldier to get lost into this border, but when they were about to leave, Lee Soo-hyuk called out to them. Intense prayer instinct makes me cry. Please, don't leave. Save yourself. Even though the two sides belong to two opposing sides without God's will. But when the night wind blows softly, good soldier, Yoo Jin-ho, he decided to risk his life for help. He carefully removed the dangerous mine at the feet of Lee Soo-hyuk and gave me that mine to keep as a souvenir. Lisa also brought the lighter. Let them light a cigarette. I haven't had time to say thank you. The enemy quietly hissed and left. A friendship that's considered taboo by both countries. But it's starting to grow among the reeds. Swayed in the wind. Soon, winter comes. The snow covered the mountain. 1 by 2, patrol on the mountain accidentally encountered. There are also two familiar faces. What surprised Lee Soo-hyuk is a gentle old soldier. Yoo Jin-ho didn't seem to be wary of them. They even exchanged cigarettes. Captain of the South, and made Lee Soo-hyuk more than happy is Yoo Jin-ho also noticed that the eyes were looking at him, face full of joy. Yours makes Lee Soo-hyuk also secretly smiled in the heart of that moment. I can feel the connection between the blood and the flesh. Since that day, the weather has become milder. You two also meet often, standing guard at the border. Sometimes they even tease each other. Yoo Jin-ho rarely reminds Lee Soo-hyuk, don't let your shadow cross the line. Lee Soo-hyuk also cooperated with him. Things before. I still can't say thank you in person. So Lee Soo-hyuk wrote a letter to put in a cigarette box. He threw the box of cigarettes with the letter to the guard over there. Medicine box soaring through the night sky like an ice star. It's like tearing the line between two countries. So the two of you started talking to each other in this way. They even call each other brothers. They share their favorite music, tapes and books. Like one night, Lee Soo-hyuk crosses the border again. Go straight ahead and open the door and enter the North Guard station. That moment made two North Korean soldiers. The ferry died silent. The bullets had to explode a long time ago. The other North Korean soldier was named Dung Jin joked in the letter. Lee Soo-hyuk came over to say thank you. I can't believe this honest guy did it. Because it's not a serious invitation. So Lee Soo-hyuk is going back now. But Jung Woo-jin was quick to hold him back. You've broken more than half a century of broken hearts. Smash the drunk chain. Ultimately, prevent the unification of those passionate words. Immediately, erased. There was a sense of guilt in all three of them. After making sure outside no AICs, they went down to the basement. Use the lunchbox as a drinking cup. Then fire fireworks to celebrate. In front of familiar people. Just this stranger. They have so many stories to tell each other. Through conversations, Lee Soo-huk realized that it's actually North Korean soldiers that you've heard. It's not as cold and cruel as my boss said. All three of them put aside political opposition, enjoy a moment of peace and friendship. Rarely, but when drunk, they also can't help but show off. Yoo-jin patted his chest proudly. In the north, we had to serve 5 to 13 years. You South Korean soldiers only have 2 years. That's strong enough for us. Lee Soo-huk is known for pulling guns, fastest in the unit. Not to be outdone, Lee Soo-huk suddenly pulled out a gun, causing Chung Yoo-jin to shoot people. Yoo Jin-ho is a man who has been on the battlefield. Still extraordinarily calm, he pretended to borrow Lee Soo-huk's gun as a model. And sometimes I don't notice. Immediately, fire in the blink of an eye. It's directed at Lee Soo-huk. Lee Soo-huk, who has never been on the battlefield, immediately stunned. I was so nervous that I trembled and said nothing. Yoo Jin-ho reminded me sternly, in the war, speed is not the most important thing. It's important to remain calm and courageous. These words made Lee Soo-huk feel great. Yoo Jin-ho even told him to remember the mine he removed that day. Help you imply that on the battlefield, saving lives is not a risk. It's calmness. To thank Yoo Jin-ho Lee's precious lesson, Soo-huk gave him an American lighter. Dung Yoo-jin was a little upset because he didn't get a gift. Of course, Lee Soo-huk didn't forget. You gave Dung Yoo-jin his favorite color magazine. When all BA are enjoying the gift together, suddenly, the dog outside was barking. A North Korean officer comes for a routine inspection. Master, you graceful cough, lazy, sitting. He immediately threw his foot and kicked me into the gutter. At that moment, the dog barked again. Dung Yoo-jin immediately broke out. Lee Soo-huk is still hiding in their house. Fortunately, the officer didn't come in. I only ordered Cho, Dung Yoo-jin. I have to take the dog to cook tomorrow. My beloved dog is about to be killed. Jung Yoon-jin is heartbroken and steals it to the south. But the dog is attached to the owner. No matter how Jung Yoon-jin tries to get rid of it, it still finds its way back to them. In the days that followed, every time Lee Soo-huk is on guard, you're using binoculars to look at the northern guard. At this time, a male comrade stood next to him. Can't help but tease. You've got 3 months to go. Then let me talk to myself. Probably bored to death. Suddenly, a bold thought flashed through Soo-hyu's head. Maybe you can introduce your northern friend. Give it to him. But after a moment of hesitation, he swallows his words inside. Because of the friend you mentioned. It's you, Jin, Ho, and Jung. Yoo-jin, on the front lines. 2 people continue, CA night. The male monk woke up. You can't see Lee Soo-huk. Go out and search. Lee Soo-huk was standing in the middle of the bridge. See, this can't be hidden anymore. Finally, Lee Soo-huk. He also confessed and led the monk right in front of the demarcation line. 2 of my friends are waiting. The male monk stood at the line, confused about what to do. It's not the Sao enemy. Lee Soo-huk then repeated Jung's famous quote. Yoon. We've broken more than half a century of painful separation. Smashed the drunk chain. It ultimately prevents the unity of the nation. When Nam, too, was hesitating. Yoo Jin-ho, I walked in front of you and held you tight. To feel the warmth of a fellow human. Just like that, he also became friends with 2 northern soldiers. Even though this connection makes you feel better. But being close to the enemy still makes sense. Lee Soo-huk comforted him. There are no enemies in this world. Just fellow citizens. Stand on 2 different lines. After all, we are just guards. There are no important military secrets to reveal. The people over there are like the reflected sun. A warm ray suddenly pierced through the heart of the monk. So those who are supposed to be enemies, no team, heaven to come together and have fun. Every night, they use bullets to catch lions. Capture the brotherhood and throw away the hatred of the opposition. On those relaxing nights, they get to be true to themselves and share their everyday stories. Dung Yoo-jin has a wife and a son. Lee Soo-huk has a beautiful girlfriend. He also taught Dung Yoo-jin how to play free. Yoo Jin-ho is obsessed with Korean food. Lee Soo-huk used to bring him pastries. Every time I tasted Yoo Jin-ho cake, I couldn't help but wonder. I don't know when the north, they make such delicious cakes. Then one day, Lee Soo-huk tried to ask Yoo Jin-ho, do you want to live in the south? It's just an accidental question, but it touches everyone's dark side. Because with soldiers who hold fast to their digging beliefs, 5 to the enemy is taboo. Lee Soo-hyuk also immediately realized his mistake. Yoo Jin-ho releases a piece of cake in his mouth. Confirm the position. There will be a day. Our north. They will also make delicious cakes. And then I put the cake in my mouth. They are all loyal to their country. but also very appreciative of friendship. It's hard to get this. So later, they avoid talking about sensitive topics. Every time the moon is bright, the forest at the border, there's a lot of laughter. It's a joy that only men understand. And the friendship between the four of you is growing stronger. Can't break. They keep thinking the four of you will be together forever. A few days later, in the Korean camp, suddenly, the alarm goes off. They get intelligence. North Korean army. The elves are massing large forces along the border. South Korea immediately raised the war alert level to the highest. Soldiers were deployed to the front lines to support Lee, Soo-hyuk, and Nam, to look at each other anxiously. I was afraid of war breaking out, for the safety of our two northern friends. But when they get there, it was discovered that it's just a northern military exercise. Even if there's no real battle. But this signals the relationship between the two sides increasingly tense. Watching the minefields keep exploding on the Kia side with the sparks that filled the sky, Lee Soo hopes for the safety of the group. Offer to temporarily stop back and forth for a while. Don't go north anymore. But Nam too replied. It will be Dung Yujin's birthday in a few days. Lee Soo-hyu is also coming out 5. If we don't have a cup of goodbye, it will be a great regret in my life. So, after the situation calms down, the four gathered as before. Then, Lee Soo-hyuk also said, the reason for this trip is to say goodbye. All four of them were clearly confused and unable to leave. They even exchanged contacts. I hope that after the war, one day, they will meet again. And then there was a very emotional moment. Lee Soo-hyuk, wearing a North Korean military hat. Jung Woo-jin is wearing a South Korean military hat. Lee Soo-hyuk stood between the two. Take pictures together. To keep the most precious memories of my life. When taking pictures, they have to adjust the angle carefully to hide the image of the supreme leader. Behind that moment, they have no distance. It's like a real family. Nom Tu also took out a drawing kit for Jung Yoon Jin like a birthday present, because you know that Jung Yoon Jin has a great passion for painting. Just one call, brothers. It's enough to make the tears unbearable. They sat down together. I'm going to smoke my last cigarette and leave. He opened the door to breathe the air. But the moment you open the door, you're dumbfounded. The smile on the solvent Eugene and Eugene Ho also snapped because there's a North Korean officer at the door. Fairy is checking out. He immediately pulled out a gun and pointed it at Nam. The man was so scared that his legs were limp. Lee Soo-hyuk and Lee Soo-hyuk held up their guns. The officer glanced over the table. I saw the cigarettes and gave them away. He was so angry that he punished you, Jin Ho. No matter how stressful the situation is, Jin Ho keeps his cool. But Dung Yoo-jin can't do that. Forced by the officer. You have to draw your gun. Makes the situation as tense as a string. Just about to fire. If this continues, someone will lose their life. Finally, Yoo Jin Ho has stood Ra reconciliation. Both sides slowly put down their guns. That night, the drizzle dripped and fell for an endless time. Until a sudden gunshot goes off. To break the silence, North Korean officials slowly fell to the cold snow. Soon, soldiers from both sides arrived. That escalated into a larger clash. The peaceful night suddenly becomes chaotic. In this shooting, in addition to the officer who was shot, Dung Yoo-jin was also killed. Yoo Jin Ho was shot in the shoulder. Lee Soo-hyuk injured his leg. The male was not injured. No one knew you were there. This time, the situation is tense between the two countries. North Korea is getting worse. In the reports, both sides have given conflicting testimony. South Korea believes that Lee Soo-hyuk went out to the bathroom that night, was captured by North Korean soldiers. Then, even though tied up, Lee Soo-hyuk fought against 3 people. He eventually injured his leg before escaping south. While the North insists Lee Soo-hyuk broke into their guard station on his own. The shooting killed an officer and a rookie. After shooting injured Yoo Jin Ho fled. The two sides can't sit together to solve the top case. This is why Switzerland has decided to stand out, sending Major Sophie, a Korean Swiss female officer, to investigate the case. The Commission of Inquiry requests you have to stay absolutely neutral, because you can't do Buddha's will on either side. What's important is the investigation, not the end result. But when Sophie came to question him, Lee Soo-hyuk always keeps quiet. Absolutely not a word. I'd rather be arrested and imprisoned. More than 2. It turns out that I used to be friends with soldiers to the north by befriending the enemy in the army. It's a serious crime. Even Yoo Jin Ho refused to cooperate with the investigation. Based on the scene of the incident, the South Korean officer was shot 8 times. Dung Yoo-jin won 2 shots, and Yoo Jin Ho won 1 shot. Lee Soo-hyuk fired a total of 11 shots. Only 10 warheads were found at the scene. That means there's a bullet. Suddenly, disappeared, mysteriously. It's clear that the AI is deliberately concealing evidence. Absent more, 2 shots hit the Korean officer. 1 hit the chest. 1 hit Tim. Show clearly, it's a close-range shot with intent to kill. Sophie continues her investigation and finds out the gun that Lee Soo-hook held the night of the incident. In fact, the number belongs to Nam too. The gun in the man's hand. It belongs to Lee Soo-hook. More on the gun that the nun was holding. There are traces of Jung Yoo-jin's blood. That proves that on the night of the incident, the guy wasn't just at the scene. They also exchanged guns with Lee Soo-hook. So what's the purpose of this exchange? As more and more evidence comes out, the monk couldn't keep his composure anymore. You'll have to use a lie detector. He suddenly became violently agitated. Holding the gun, he shot himself to end his life. I found no bullets inside. In a panic, he broke the glass door and jumped down. Lee Soo-hook is downstairs for questioning. I saw Nam-too's face with my own eyes, through the upper window. The truth that Nam-too decided to keep secret to death. My body fell to the ground, ending all hope. This caused Lee Soo-hook to completely collapse. He rushed to grab Sophie's neck. But they were eventually captured by the soldiers. The death of Nam-too. It makes the Korean side very angry. They started putting pressure on Sophie. Request a postponement of the interrogation. Sophie was also heartbroken by this. But you know you're so close to the truth. We decided to take a tougher approach. Despite the heavy pressure, Sophie's holding a Lee Soo-hook and Yoo Jin-ho go to the scene at the same time. The moment their eyes intersected, hidden. Too many complicated emotions. They both understand that this interrogation will decide their own fate. When Sophie gave testimony from both sides, they all said there was no problem, and there's no need to edit any points. She brings out models, recreating the scene of the incident, arranged the location of each person when the murder occurred, then showed the video of Nam-too's interrogation. Before you kill yourself, Sophie decided that Vietnam commits suicide to avoid screening by detector. Lying is a way of admitting guilt. She offered to reopen the investigation. I saw a picture of my close brother. Loss of control. In paragraph 6, Lee Soo-hook also began to collapse mentally. I can't seem to hold back and tell the truth. At that moment, Yoo Jin-ho suddenly turned the table upside down in anger. He rushed to press Lee Soo-hook to the floor, mouth screaming loud. I'm going to hit you hard. But those who arrived in time intervened. Behind Yoo Jin-ho's riot, the interrogation had to end early. So they didn't get any useful evidence. Your boss gave you a brochure related to Sophie's father. Then out. Her father was a prisoner of war in North Korea. Then moved to another country. The superior thought that this special condition, it could make Sophie lose her objectivity and make the results of the investigation unfair. So Sophie's right to investigate this time. But Sophie, still trying to argue to defend his point of view. You just need 3 days. It's about Lee Soo-hook. Confess and find out the whole truth. But my superiors said that in this place there is no need for truth. Ways to maintain peace. This is hiding the truth. Finally, the captain gave Sophie a ticket. The plane asked her to return to the Marines 2 days later. Sophie accepted being stripped of her investigative rights. But you still have something to worry about before you leave. She once again called Lee Soo-hook to see her. This time Sophie gave more compelling evidence. In Jung Yoo-jin's sketchbook, there's a picture of Lee Soo-hook's girlfriend. That's enough to prove the relationship between 4 people is not easy. Then she pulled out 2 different investigative reports. She said she could help hide it. The whole truth before make sure both sides are not involved. On the condition that Lee Soo-hook confess to everything. Or you'll hand over all the evidence. Let his successor continue to investigate the matter. Sophie then pledged that as long as Lee Soo-hook tells the truth, you will find a way to keep Yoo Jin-ho safe. Listen to this condition. Lee Soo-hook, for worrying about his brother. So I've opened up the whole relationship between the 4 of you. Just like everything that happened that night. That night when Yoo Jin-ho asked everyone to put down their guns, the radio suddenly turned to rock music. Next, the noise made the AI startled too. At the same time, the South Korean officer's radio rang out. When he met Tae, he was going to get the radio, when a loud explosion ripped through the night. He thought he was going to pull a gun. They fired the first shot immediately. That moment sent everyone into chaos. Jung Yoo-jin also pulled out a gun in a panic, but Nam shrinks faster. The second shot hit Jung Yoo-jin. Lee Soo-hook also opened fire, but when he pointed the gun at Yoo Jin-ho, the gun suddenly caught fire. This saved Yoo Jin-ho's life. At that time, Yoo Jin fired a shot. It hit Lee Soo-hook in the right leg. He completely lost control of his empty mind. The brother who just handed over the fruit of attachment before, he has now become a soul under the gun of the monk. Right after that, he kept firing 6 shots at Jung Yoon-jin. In a panic, He no longer distinguishes between friends and enemies. He even pointed his gun at Lee Soo-hyuk. Are injured. Only you, Jin-ho, can remain calm. He gently removed the gun from the male monk standing in front of him. Dead brother and old friend. Yu Jin-ho without hesitation pointed the gun into the officer himself, his commander. Then, he wiped the gun clean and gave it back to Cho Lee Soo-hyuk. Yu Jin-ho, immediate relief. Lee Soo-hyuk is standing up in a panic. This is also the reason why Nam-too's gun, back in your hands. Soon after, Yu Jin-ho told Nam-to that. Tell me, I've never been here. Lee Soo-hyuk was kidnapped and escaped. I told them not to turn back, just leave so fast. But soon after, Yu Jin-ho called Lee Soo-hyuk back. Tell me to shoot myself. Wait until both of you are safe. Yu Jin-ho gathered all the stuff they left behind, with the radio thrown into the river, by a bullet that Lee Soo-hyuk fired that hit the radio. So the scene was missing a warhead. As gunfire echoed from the border area, both camps immediately raised an emergency alert. Not long after, soldiers from both sides rushed to the scene. Because he was too afraid. Lee Soo-hyuk was injured and fled. Lee Soo-hyuk was injured on the bridge. Feel every drop of cold rain down, the sound of bullets tearing through the wind. It's all about their memories and their friendship. It seems that moment has frozen my whole life. Yu Jin-ho also joined the continuous shooting dance. Lee Soo-hyuk is finally protected by his teammates. Withdraw from the scene. Everything that night happened so fast. Time to think again. Lee Soo-hyuk still feels like a distant dream. Sophie was very emotional when she heard the story. I knew that the man was there that night, but never thought that the bond between the four is so strong. Sophie then found you, Jin-ho, and from your words confirm the whole truth. You asked me if can we forgive our southern friends or not. Yu Jin-ho just replied, you are forever brothers. Then, Sophie asked if he had anything to send back. Yu Jin-ho glanced at the guard next door, and just say, I want to return the lighter to Lee Soo-hyuk. I asked Sophie to send me a message. Lee Soo-hyuk should quit smoking. Hear from Yu Jin-ho. Lee Soo-hyuk is so excited. But Sophie's next words made me feel like falling into the cold. It turns out that Nam-too shot Jong Yu Jin-hum. Just hit the finger and put it on the radio. And Lee Soo-hyuk's shot. That's what killed Dung Yu-jin. Lee Soo-hyuk woke up from his coma. Whether the AI's memory is right or wrong, I am still filled with a sense of betrayal. Because at that moment, I pulled the trigger on you, Jin-ho. Even if the shot is stuck, I tried to pull the trigger a second time, and it's an unforgivable mistake. Right now, Korean soldiers came to take Lee Soo-hyuk away. They'll take you to the hospital for treatment. As Lee Soo-hyuk walked down the stairs, Sophie, I realized the lighter hadn't been carried. You immediately feel something is wrong. Hurry up and run. But it's too late. Carry in me the sorrow. Lee Soo-hyuk can't forgive himself. He snatched a gun from a soldier. And kneeling on the ground with a face full of pain, I look south. Used to throw himself down, put the barrel in his mouth, and pull the trigger. Another unpeaceful night. Next to Lee Soo-hyuk is red blood. Flowing is the ultimate end. The memory is like a fast-paced movie that goes on and suddenly, take me back to a quiet afternoon. Yu Jin-ho once picked up a hat, swept away by the wind. Then take the tourists to Korea. This action makes visitors happy. Take a picture of the anniversary. Lee Soo-hyuk. He ran to stop the man. But the image itself is an accident. The place of destiny. Put all four people in the same frame. It's also their only photo. Black and white photo. It's not just about preserving the friendship that we once had, but also to prove that the fellowship between them will never be separated by a line of demarcation, just a few meters apart. This is a silent indictment of compassion. The drama of a divided people, where soldiers on both sides of the battle line, speaking the same language, let's have a peaceful dream. They're forced to point their guns at each other. Every eye, every smile between them in the dark is proof. Show that human love is not erased by the battle line, but the truth itself is broken. Muffled in the reports are, rewrite to be stable. The movie is not just political. It's the story of investigating a case. It's the pain of an entire nation, when the borders are just 1 foot apart. But it's enough to keep people apart for a lifetime. And then a picture of Chung just happens to be relics, witness to a friendship buried by history. The film reminds us that unity is the way of survival. Only when you realize that your people are not your enemies. Only by putting human love above hatred. Then we can go through the war without losing yourself. If you feel the pain too, please share your feelings to be together. Lan radiates the value of the truth about human and ethnic love. The movie is over. Thank you for watching. I love you so much.